With the release of the NES Classic, hopefully that can only mean the SNES Classic is somewhere on the horizon. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, I'm bringing you my 30 games I would like to see on that emulator console that Nintendo is hopefully bringing out in the future. Now, I'm not going to say these are the 30 best games on the console. This is my own list. I would love to see you participate in your own list. You can post it on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Just give it the hashtag SNES Classic 30. It's kind of my challenge to the entire gaming community. What games would you put on it? I would love to hear your opinions. So again, this is my list. I happen to own all 30 of these games already. When I started collecting for the Super Nintendo, I wanted to go back and buy all the best games that I considered on the console that I wanted to play for the rest of my life. There are some clear omissions, but that's alright. I'll do shoutouts at the end of the video of a lot of other great games. First of all, let's get right to it. I'm going to fly through these games pretty quickly. First game on the list is Super Mario World. Of course, this game was one of the launch games of the system. It's a must. It's a fantastic platformer. I'm just going to line them all up. There's going to be a ton by the time we're done this. Next game up is, sticking with Mario, Super Mario Kart, the game that started that entire franchise. It's a must-have on this system, of course. Then we have Super Mario RPG. This is kind of a fan's hope. I'm not sure if this game can ever actually come out on that system. They do have on the NES Classic some games that weren't really Nintendo made that I wasn't expecting, like Mega Man. Hopefully, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars makes it. Fantastic game series. One more from Mario. This is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. This game is entirely different than its original game, Super Mario World, but it is absolutely amazing. A lot of people consider that one of the best games on the console. I love the music. I love the art style especially. Alright, we're going to take a little sidestep from Mario, of course. Those are the 4 main Mario games. I'm leaving off Mario All-Stars because realistically those games are all on the NES. Next up we have The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. My candidate for the best game on the system. It's the only game out for Zelda on the Super Nintendo. There's a lot of other BS Zelda games on the Satellaview, but those don't really count. Zelda, an absolute must-have, in my opinion. Another nomination for best game on the console is Super Metroid, again made by Nintendo. This game has the atmosphere, it has the music, it has everything you want. I can't believe these games. If you were to buy all of these games, it would probably cost you like $1,500 if you're buying them cartridge only. Sticking with Nintendo, we have Kirby's Dreamland 3. Love this series. It's a lot of fun. You can have great memories while playing that game. You can make great memories and really be happy. Sticking with Kirby, you also have Kirby Superstar. I left out Avalanche and the other one, Dream Course, or whatever it's called, in favor of the more modern, or the more original Kirby games, I think. So let's just keep going with Nintendo. Next up we have Starfox, a complete staple classic of this system, where it all began for Starfox as well, and Starfox is one of my personal favorite series. The Wii U version kind of disappointed me, but I absolutely love Starfox. Alright, and game number 10. We're almost a third of the way through. This is FZero. Again, this game is fast-paced. I really hope Nintendo brings this out on the next console, the Switch. I think they're long overdue for that one. So we're a third of the way down the list. I'm going to go to a trilogy of games that are absolutely unbelievably awesome. I think all 3 of these have to be in our list. This is Donkey Kong Country 1, Donkey Kong Country 2, and of course, Donkey Kong Country 3. Now, the first one is probably one of my favorites just because it was the first one that I ever played, but I would probably argue that Donkey Kong 2 is the best game in the trilogy, but all 3 are absolutely fantastic. Different characters playable every time, and all 3 of them deserve to be on the Super Nintendo Classic. Next up is a staple called Pilot Wings. I do believe this was a launch game of the Super Nintendo originally, I'm pretty sure. And this game I don't have the box for it. It's one of 2 games in my list that I don't have the box for it yet. It's really a flight simulator, and I think it's a must-have on the Super Nintendo. It really represents the Super Nintendo very well. Alright, let's jump to another trilogy to get 3 games out of the way really quickly. That is the Megaman X Trilogy of games. These games are unbelievably good, especially Mega Man X. I absolutely love the way the game introduces the game design, especially with that intro level and intro stage. I watch Caleb Hart still stream these to this day because I love these games so much. I'm not even that good at them, but they're unbelievably awesome. I think they're some of the best Mega Man games ever made. The Mega Man X Trilogy, I'm putting all 3 of those as unique titles on this list. Going back to Nintendo and stepping into the fighting series for a moment, I'm going to include Punchout on this list. Punchout also resurfaced on the Wii, but I really do see, or I hope we get another Punchout on the Switch. I love the Punchout series. Then I picked Killer Instinct, made by Rare. A great fighting game. I kind of chose that one and Street Fighter II. I'm choosing the Turbo Edition, but I'm choosing this one over the Mortal Kombat series. I think Mortal Kombat was just better on the Sega Genesis. That's why it didn't quite make this list, but it does get an honorable mention. Alright, now we're missing, I think, that is 20 games so far, so we're missing 10 more, I believe. Next up, we have a game that is cartridge only for me. I need to get the box for this. That is TMNT 4 Turtles in Time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This game's great with 2 players. So much fun. I still like playing that sometimes with my friends. Another one is Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4. This one's a lot like Metroid, actually. It's like Metroidvania. I love this game compared to all the other Castlevania games. This one just does it perfectly for me. I love the fact that you can actually attack in all directions. The controls just feel fluid. The music is absolutely great. It has the same atmosphere, I would say, as Metroid as well, or Super Metroid. Next up is Contra III, The Alien Wars. Now, this game has a top-down level that I don't ultimately love. However, I do like this game overall. I think that it really pushes the Super Nintendo's graphics to a certain point, and I love the bosses in that game. Alright, now we're getting into the RPGs on the console. The first one I have to start with, other than Super Mario RPG, is Chrono Trigger. This one has the design of Dragon Ball Z and all the awesomeness of time travel and multiple endings. It's one of the best games of all time. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, you owe it to yourself. Followed by another best game of all time. This is Final Fantasy III. What a fantastically unreal good game. I only have a very few small qualms with this game, and that's like you can't always see the different characters on screen when you're about to go into a battle. It just kind of randomly goes into it. But I can overlook those flaws. This is one of the best games of all time, Final Fantasy III. Final Fantasy II gets a shout out, but it didn't quite make this list. Next RPG is Secret of Mana. I love this cover art. I love this game. This one you can play with 3 players, and I love it. I do think a lot of people should play that as multiplayer if they ever get the chance. One of my personal favorites on the console just barely squeaked into this list. This is Actraiser. There's a great top-down view where you act almost like as a god governing a town, but also you go into like action-adventure mode, which I really like. This is way better than Actraiser 2. I love Actraiser 1. Shout out to Actraiser 2, but it doesn't quite make the list. Next up, in third to last on our list, is Illusion of Gaia, another fantastic game on this system that I think a lot of people need to play. The manual for that game is absolutely astoundingly long as well. And then we have, second last game, Lufia II, Rise of the Sinistrals. Shoutouts to Lufia 1, but it didn't quite make the list. Now you're all thinking, he's probably, I hope, saving the best for last. And of course, my last game into this series is Earthbound. One of the best RPGs of all time. It takes a long time to beat. You can love it instantly if you're into quirky battle mechanics, very interesting characters, and just a whole crazy world with very different and unique enemies. I love Earthbound. A lot of people need to play that to this day. So there you have it. Those are my 30 games. Wow, for the SNES Classic. My SNES Classic 30 challenge to you is to bring about your own games. I have so many other games here that I could have mentioned, basically, in this video. Shoutouts to Evo, Breath of Fire 1 and 2, Super Double Dragon. We have UN Squadron. We also have Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Sunset Riders, Gradius 3. We also have Aladdin. I'm not even going to hold all these up because I'm not sure if I can, but shoutouts to Aladdin, The Lion King, Star Wars Trilogy, Tetris and Mario, Final Fantasy II. And then we have a whole nother list of shoutouts still to go. So Mortal Kombat obviously gets a shoutout as well. Then we have Earthworm Jim 1 and 2, Uniracers, Lufia 1, SimCity, Battletoads, Bomberman 2. We're also missing the Final Fight Trilogy, Hagane. I'm missing, I don't even own Ogre Battle. I don't even own Harvest Moon, which I might put in my list as well, but those are so close. NBA Jam's also a fantastic title on the system. Even though it was remade, it's on other systems as well. So please, let me know. You can comment below your SNES 30. I would love to hear all your opinions. I would love to see people posting this on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you want online. Let me know what your 30 games are for the SNES Classic, and I really hope Nintendo brings this out one day. If Nintendo were to make it, they would probably charge $80 for it rather than $60 if they had 30 games in it. I'm really expecting them, if they do it, to only have 20 games. But the Super Nintendo has so many amazing games across so many different franchises and so many different types of genres that it's absolutely outstanding to me. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket, follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video, share your SNES Classic 30, and as always, thanks for watching, go collect them all, and keep smiling while gaming.